Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. So basically, I'm right now stuck at a diner, and my truck is not starting whatsoever. Man. So basically, I came to this diner, picked up some food, was all waiting to go home and eat pig out, and guess what? This truck is not starting whatsoever, and I've tried it 15 times already, trying to start this truck up. Nothing happens, which really sucks. Alright, so this is not the first time I've had this issue. Recently, I've actually had this issue about a couple weeks ago, where I had to normally when I start this truck, it's like a one-time thing, it starts up, but last time I had to do it like at least 6 times for this truck to actually start up. And man, I was thinking maybe I should have just pretty much try to figure out what the issue was last time, because once it started working good, it worked pretty good up until this point. And I just got this truck recently, because my other car I was having issues with my other car, and I had to buy another something that was actually, I was hoping was actually dependable, but apparently this started happening. Okay, so basically, I was thinking to myself, maybe it's just the battery. Maybe I should have just changed out the battery. I mean, but I didn't last time, so that might be the issue. But it's not, though. Unfortunately, it's not. Anyway, the first thing I did was, I put on my headlights, popped my hood, went out, checked the battery. Didn't check the battery, checked the light, checked the headlight. The headlight was fine. Headlights were fine, the beams were bright. Oh, freaking hell. Anyway, at that point, I was like, man, you know what? With the beams that bright, this truck probably should have just cranked up a little bit, like a slow crank or something like that. Nothing like that. So I was thinking to myself, all right, so I'll check the battery terminals, check the battery itself, check the battery terminals, because I got a little wrench set that I bought from AutoZone. Went out, the terminals looked pretty dirty, corroded. Took a wire brush, brushed off all the stuff, and brushed the terminals. And I was looking for the date on the battery, but the battery looks pretty old. Anyway, I put the terminals back on. Screwed it back in, hoping that would be the issue. Came back to my car, tried to start it, nothing, no crank whatsoever. Oh man. But the thing about it is, everything else in the car works. The lights on the dash work, the battery works, the blow motor works, everything works as normal, except for this one problem: I can't get it to crank up. So I was like, okay, I got a battery pack that I bought for my previous car. I bought that 2 years ago, and it's like 75% charged up. Didn't charge that up for like I charged it up last month, and anyway, I tried jumping it, nothing. I ended up actually asking somebody to help me to jump it, and had to ask a couple of people. I have wires, I had cables in the back, so I actually asked a couple of people to help me out, popped it in. Somebody did help me out. I put the terminals on, try to crank it, nothing. I waited 3 minutes, try to crank it, nothing. So I'm like, all right. Next thing I did was check the negative cable, and the negative cable looked good, looked fine, a little bit rusty, but still fine. So not the negative cable, I don't think it was. So basically none of that. So I was thinking maybe it's the alternator. Maybe the alternator needs to be changed. But I was looking at the alternator. The alternator looks pretty decent. It looked like it was, you know, it didn't look like an old alternator, but I can't really tell. But I didn't think it was the alternator that was the issue. The reason being is that, you know, at some point when I tried to jump the car, if it was the alternator that was the issue, the truck should have just jumped. You know, the truck should have just jumped pretty much. It should have just turned on with a slow crank or anything. Something would just turn on, and once I took the cables off, the you know, it would have just died out. But that wasn't the case here. I got nothing except for a click. I got nothing for a click except for a click. So I was like, let's check on the let's check on the fuse box. Let's check the fuse box. Probably a fuse that blew, a relay, starter relay or whatever. And I started with the starter relay. I pretty much popped the relay out from the starter and then popped the terminal relay. I don't know what it was for, but from a different spot, popped it in, you know, nothing. And I didn't think it was a relay because basically what happens is when you hear a click, it's the solenoid on the starter going off. And, you know, if you hear that, that means the relay is working because it's relaying electricity from the battery to the solenoid, except the motor's not turning. Okay, so unfortunately that wasn't the problem, because I could have just pretty much Ubered to an AutoZone, picked up a relay or fuse or whatever and popped it in. That wasn't a problem. So I got bigger issues at this point. So I was thinking, crossing my finger that it was a fuse. But basically, I was looking at the fuses, and I really didn't see any fuse that was blown. And I was thinking to myself, I don't have a tester on me. I don't have a fuse tester on me, so I'm not 100% sure. You know, can't really eye it. So I'm like, okay, probably not a fuse, because the previous instances that I've had with fuse issues with my previous cars, with my last car, I had the main fuse blew, and with that, nothing worked in the car. Like, there was no electricity at all inside the car, nothing. It was like 100% dead. And changing out that fuse actually got that car to work again. But that's not the case here, because, you know, everything works in this car except for the fact that I can't get in this truck, except I can't actually get this truck to start to turn over. So basically I was thinking, man, I had a long day. Oh man, I had a long day. Okay, let's go on with this video, man. Okay, so basically, the other time that I had a fuse issue that prevented my car from starting was there was a fuse to the fuel pump that blew, and basically I was able to get the car to crank, but it would not turn over. And I don't think that's the case here, considering I can't get it to crank. It's not turning over, but I can't get it to crank. So I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, that it's not the fuse. Not the fuse. Which leads me to believe at this point that the problem is probably the starter. Okay. I don't know how, I don't know too much about this this truck, except that I've had this truck for a good month. Bought it for a good price. Alright guys, so alright, that was AAA calling me back. Apparently it's gonna take an hour for them to get back, you know, to get tow truck here. But alright, what was I saying? The other fuse, I think it was the other fuse situation with my truck. Okay, so the other fuse situation I had with the car that I had previously was Did I go through this? I'm not quite sure, but apparently it wouldn't crank. I think I went through that already. All right, man, it's been a long day, but it wouldn't crank up. Long story short, it once I put in the fuse to change the fuse to the fuel pump, it cranked up, started without any problem. So at this point, I think it's probably the starter that's the issue. Now, I don't know too much about this car. I've only had it for about a month. So I think it's the starter that's the issue. Now, I did go out, try to bump it. Try to bump the starter. Hit it a couple of times in a long crowbar. Nothing happened at all. Which really, really sucks. Nothing happened at all. All right. So at this point, nothing happened at all. So, I mean, I could run a line from the battery to the starter and see and just know 100% where that's the case. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait for AAA to get to me so that I could test all this out. See what the big issue is as far as this whole thing is concerned. If you guys stay tuned, I'm going to keep you guys updated on this. Alright guys, so it took AAA 2 hours to get my truck on the bed, and then oh man, and then towed it to my house. Sucked, but once I got it there, I was able to do a bunch of tests. I confirmed that all the fuses were good. The relay wasn't the problem. I cleaned the negatives just to make sure there was no negative wasn't the problem. None of that was the problem. All right, so at that point, I was pretty sure it was the starter. I hit the starter a couple of times, see if that did anything. Nothing. And I did run a line from the positive of my battery to the positive of the solenoid, and it sparked a little when I touched it, but nothing happened as far as the starter cranking up or anything like that. So basically, I knew it was a starter that was dead. Took it out, took it to AutoZone, had them swapped it out. I paid like $190 for a rebuilt starter. I think the core was like $20 or whatever, 25, and popped it in, and my truck is now starting up fine without any kind of issues at all. I'm hoping that that's the only problem that I'll have for a while. And hoping that the alternator is not the next to go, because alternator, starter, but that was the problem. It was the starter that was the problem. I hope this video has helped you guys out. If it has, please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and also please if you have any comments, please leave a comment. All right guys, take care.